25 years since they first hit our screens, the EastEnders cast are preparing to mark the milestone with their riskiest episode yet.
Oh yes, for the first time the show will be performed live, with viewers desperate to solve one of the show's most talked about whodunits. Who killed Archie Mitchell?
Our entertainment correspondent Lisa Mazimba has been allowed on set and he joins us now live. There it is, from Albert Square. Lisa.
Hello, good morning. Yes, welcome to Albert Square. This is where it's all going to be happening in just over 13 hours' time. Now, of course, viewers are used to following the events here as they happen, but tonight, for the very first time, they'll be able to watch it instantaneously because the programme is being broadcast live as part of the 25th anniversary celebrations. Now, we've seen so many events happening here over the years, and at times it's hard to comprehend how EastEnders has become part of really the national fabric.
Entertainment for Tuesday night on BBC One.
Primetime TV a quarter of a century ago certainly looked different.
Les Dawson fills the gaps and fires the gags. At 8:50, Points of View.
I had a letter this week.
Different, with the exception of a programme making its debut.
In a moment, it's off to Albert Square for EastEnders. And a first chance to join the locals down at the Queen Victoria.
Oh, stinks in here, doesn't it? Ain't working.
From its opening moments, it became one of the most talked about shows on TV. The intention was to reflect the issues that real people faced in their lives, and its mix of gritty plots, alongside more light-hearted storylines, made it a hit with millions of viewers.
Oh, nice of you to drop in, Ethel.
Right, at present, we're on 3.96 recurring garments every 4 hours.
The only actor to have appeared continuously since episode 1 says it's that variety that's kept him in Albert Square.
If you're an actor in a soap, you get to portray a far wider variety of emotions and character traits and things like that than you ever get to portraying a sort of like a smaller drama series. So I like it here because it's always something different, it's always something fresh.
Poor old Angie's going to pop off.
The programme is nothing less than a national institution. It gained one of the biggest TV audiences ever when Den Watts told his wife Angie that he was leaving her.
This, my sweet, is a letter from my solicitor telling you that your husband has filed a petition for divorce.
Stopping me what? From being with
One of the reasons for the show's enduring popularity has been its willingness to break barriers by attacking major issues through its main characters. In 1988, there was the rape of Kathy Beale.
Please, James, let me go.
No. Why should you be ill?
For the character of Mark Fowler, it was living with HIV.
What they call HIV.
HIV?
Yeah, HIV.
All you've got to do.
And more recently, the sexual abuse of teenager Whitney Dean by her stepfather was a major storyline.
Either you lie or I go back to prison. Is that what you want? You want me to go back to prison?
But of course, the things that have got most people talking over the years have been the whodunits. Who fathered Michelle's baby? Who shot Phil Mitchell? And in today's live episode, they'll be revealing the answer to the Christmas Day cliffhanger of who murdered Archie Mitchell. And they've been rehearsing for days. And that's no surprise. A live broadcast of this type is a huge undertaking, especially as they know millions upon millions will be watching. Of course, a lot has happened over the years, nearly 4,000 episodes, more than 50 weddings, something like 76 actual deaths, and that's about the same number that have been thrown out of the Queen Vic, I think, by Barbara Windsor with the immortal words, "Get out of my pub." Tonight's episode, of course, is a huge undertaking doing it live. They've been rehearsing for days to try and get it right. They've got sets all over the place, rushing actors round in between, making sure they do get it right and revealing who the winner is going to, who the killer, I should say, is going to be on tonight's live episode. So we'll be back later with some very special EastEnders guests.
Yes, I like the idea of who's the winner as well. Lisa, they're going to be filming in the snow. They're going to be filming it in the snow tonight, aren't they, if it carries on?
They have said whatever the weather is, they will keep going. They can cope with it. Whatever happens, they are going to do it live here.
Good. Speak to you more later, Lisa.
Lots
Thank you.
more from Lisa later. You can see the live 25th anniversary special tonight on BBC One at 8.
That's time.
Yes, it is snowing just a bit, but it has warmed up ever so slightly. And the atmosphere has kind of gone a bit frosty because I'm joined by famous EastEnders bad boy, Steve Owen, played by Martin Kemp. Now, tell me, Martin, this is the first time you've been back in about 7 years. What memories are going through your head?
Oh, there's a lot of memories. You know, this is probably the most iconic set in Britain, isn't it? Apart from maybe Coronation Street and a few others that we know. It's a fantastic place to work. And my memory here is what a huge responsibility I felt coming onto this show, because it was watched by my aunts, my uncles, my parents loved it, everybody loved it. And it was kind of strange because I grew up in Islington, which is all kind of two-storey Georgian houses, you know. And it looked remarkably like this set, Albert Square. I was born next door to a pub called Clarence Arms in Rotherfield Street, which looks exactly like this. So it was kind of like a feeling of coming home.
Well, one of your big famous storylines, of course, was Saskia's murder. I said you were a bad boy. Let's refresh ourselves about how you were arrested for that.
Sure.
Can't this at least wait until tomorrow?
I'd love to accommodate you, Mrs. Owen.
Mrs. Owen, see, I like the sound of that.
But this is rather pressing.
Well, then get out there and find the bloke who did shoot Phil instead of arresting someone.
No one's arresting anybody here.
Aren't they? Great, OK. Come on then, let's go. You can buy me a drink.
Mrs. Owen.
Listen, darling, just relax. It's going to be OK.
It's not going to be OK. I mean, call me a big romantic fool, Steve, but I just didn't imagine my first day back as your wife, I'd be sitting in the nick.
Look, I'm just going to answer their questions, OK? Right? The sooner I put them straight, the sooner we're out of here.
Yeah, OK. I'm sorry, it's all a bit much for me to take in.
Yeah, I know. Why don't you go and get yourself a cup of tea, right? Think about where you want to go for dinner tonight.
If you'd like to come this way, sir.
Yeah. See you later.
I'm telling you, that Steve Owen's a killer right down to his marrow. You can see it in his eyes, they're too close together.
Well, what memories there. Now, in your day, this is a huge undertaking, this live episode. Are you secretly a bit relieved you didn't have to do anything like that when you were on the show?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I forgot far too many lines to do that. But, I don't know. There's a bit of me that's kind of jealous that you would love the test, in a way, to go and do it live. But I had a fantastic time working here. You know, I worked with some fantastic people. Tamsin Althwaite, she was fantastic to work with. When you're an actor, you're only as good as the actor you're working with. You know, it's like a stunt fight. It's not the person who throws the fight, it's the person who takes it that makes the punch look good. And acting is exactly on the same line as that. So you have to work alongside good actors. And when I was here, the standard of acting was second to none. So I was pleased with that.
Now, you say you're a bit jealous of the live episode. I mean, couldn't you actually hide here somewhere on set, pop up during the storyline and say, I'm back from the dead? After all, it's a live episode. They'd have to write you back in somehow.
Maybe I could sit in a cafe or something, just having some egg and beans.
But seriously, briefly, what is your real understanding of why EastEnders has been so popular? In just a couple of sentences.
It's just a well-written show. I think the storylines that they put together here are fabulous, and it keeps everybody wanting to see the next show. Those classic duff moments, the last scene of every episode, are the thing that we kind of live for on this programme. And when I was here, it was a competition to see who could get that duff moment. But it's wonderful. I wish them luck.
Thank you very much for talking to us today, Martin, and hope you enjoy watching the show tonight.
Thank you.
Lisa, can I ask a question? Are you still with us there? Can you ask Martin if he can do his most menacing EastEnders line for us? Has he got one that he remembers?
I shall ask him. Martin, can you do your most menacing EastEnders line for us if you remember one? Straight into camera, come on.
I cannot remember anything. No.
So...
Listen, if you ask me to play a Spandau Ballet song at the moment, I struggle. So,
the band are just around the corner.
Asking me to do something from 7 years ago.
Just give us your most menacing Steve Owen look into camera. Come on.
OK, we're scared.
That's pretty chilly,
OK.
We're scared, we're very scared.
It took me years to learn that.
Now, all morning, we've been live in Albert Square to celebrate the 25th anniversary of EastEnders. Well, one actress who certainly knows a thing or two about the soap is Gillian Tailford.
She was, you will remember, one of the original cast members in 1985, playing Cathy Beale, later Cathy Mitchell. Let's have a little look.
Might have changed your mind. Come on, Pauline will be asleep by now. 10 minutes won't kill him.
Oh, right.
Let's go upstairs, shall we? We'll be more comfortable.
You
that I, Catherine Beale,
that I, Catherine Beale,
do take thee, Philip Mitchell,
do take thee, Philip Mitchell,
to be my lawful wedded husband.
to be my lawful wedded husband.
Look, I think everybody should leave.
Look, Kathy, nothing happened.
I miss you both. Take care of Ben for me.
We'll keep in touch.
Bye, Kev.
Bye.
Well, there, tears. Gillian joins us now from Albert Square. Morning to you. It's lovely to see you there again. What was it like coming back? Were you sad?
Good morning. Oh, yes, I got here this morning. I felt quite emotional about everything, and I went past my dressing room, and look how much I cat's cat. It's awful. Very emotional.
Tell us a little bit about the early days, because you were there right at the beginning, weren't you? So when you started, did you think it was just another job, you know, it was just going to, you know, might not last? What were your thoughts then?
Well, I didn't know how long it was going to last, actually. We had a contract for 6 months with an option for 18 months after that. And I just thought, you know, after 18 months, or perhaps 6 months I might be going. And then 18 months, I thought, oh, well, I'll go back to my secretarial job. But I might have lost my speed by that time, I thought. But I couldn't believe it when it was going on for another couple of years. I thought, well, it might last sort of 5, and we had a 50-year anniversary, and then it went on after that, and here we are at 25 years. It's wonderful, wonderful.
And take us back to that time when you went back to your mum and dad and said, I've got this job on a show called EastEnders. What was their reaction?
Well, I phoned them up and said to them, I've got some really good news for you, and I'm going to be coming round tonight with a bottle of champagne. And I arrived at their flat later on that evening with a bottle of champagne, and I said, I've got this fantastic new job. It's called EastEnders. It's going to be a soap. And my mum and dad went, oh, and their faces both dropped. And they went, and I said, why are you looking so unhappy? And they said, well, we thought you'd got to tell us you got engaged. I went, oh, all right, fine, thank you very much. And I said to my mum and dad, but listen, Julia Smith said, yeah, this is going to be wonderful, this show. We're going to become perhaps household names. And my dad said, yeah, and so's Domestos. I went, oh, thank you very much for that. Talk about keep your feet on the ground.
Gillian, I'm intrigued. Do you watch the show now? Be honest, do you watch EastEnders now?
I do, not all the time. I do dip in and out at occasions, and I think it's fantastic. It really is, and still keep up the high standards. It's wonderful to watch. Still.
Are the villains as good as they used to be? I'm thinking of Phil, you know, and those, you know, the way he spoke and everything.
Yes,
do you think they're up to scratch now?
Yes, they are. Certainly with Janine back, isn't she? she's living up to her image. But Phil's just as naughty as ever. Yeah, he is. And I mean, they all the time they've got these brilliant people coming in. That are great villains, and it's lovely to see as well they're keeping up the tradition of having, the Easter tradition of having really strong women in the show still, which was right there from the first.
OK, and I understand when you left, you took a couple of things with you, didn't you? What did you take?
Shush, you're not supposed to say anything. Yes, I did. I took Kathy's apron, because I didn't think anybody would want that. And I took Kathy's Phil's wedding ring. I took the wedding ring. Never having had one myself, so I thought I'd take Kathy's.
We were talking to Martin Kemp a few minutes ago, and we asked him about what he remembered about any of his, specifically any kind of lines that he remembered, his favourite lines from the show. He said he didn't really remember any at all. Have you got any that spring to mind, or storylines, or particular moments in the show?
I do remember a line I had, I think it was to Pauline Fowler when I first arrived, who played my sister-in-law, and she was having a go at me about Arthur and saying I was working on the store and it should have been Arthur's store, and you know, because Pete and Pauline were twins. And she sang about her old man and the Spuds, and she said, oh, the Spuds are my old man. And I said, oh, it's nice to see you put the Spuds before your old man. I would have put them on the same par. I remember that.
Excellent. And you said your dad said, oh, you said you were going to be a household name, which you are. How much has EastEnders changed your life?
Well, it has enormously, and from EastEnders, I've gone on to some wonderful shows afterwards. But I think one of those things I always remember with EastEnders, we went on to quite a few of us. Wendy, Tom Watt, Sue Talley, Letitia Dean. We all went out to do an opening of like a big shopping centre in Croydon. And going out all together, you know, you felt like you were safe. There was safety in numbers, as it were. And we all went along to this opening, and the police were pushing people back and holding people back away from us all. And as we went to go in, somebody touched me on the shoulder and turned around and went, oh, I touched her. And I thought, oh my God, I can't believe this. It's like really frantic. And I thought, I don't like the way this is going. It was quite frightening after that. But it did change all of our lives, I think, because we didn't quite realise the enormity of what the show was going, you know, the way it was going to go. And it was a bit frightening afterwards, it was, yeah. But,
well, Gillian, have a wonderful day there today. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for your time this morning.